Hey, looking for some perspective on this. I'm currently caring for a seriously unwell loved one, and instead of taking time off, I've just been reshuffling my work hours around appointments, early mornings, late nights, whatever it takes to keep everything moving. If anything, I'm working more than usual while still trying to stay on top of my role. Lately, though, a couple of people on my team have started acting a bit off, making comments about how they've had to step up while I'm away, which honestly doesn't feel accurate and is starting to get to me. I'm already pretty stretched, and if I'm being honest, I probably do need a break to prevent burnout. But now I feel weirdly anxious about asking for one if this is the perception. How would you handle this without making it bigger than it needs to be?
Well, firstly, I thank you for writing in and sharing what's going on. It sounds like a huge load that you're carrying here. So not only caring, but maintaining work is like you working a double shift, essentially. And that's not invisible work, right? Even though some people aren't really able to sort of see that and acknowledge the value of it. So I would say the point about people, wanting to needing to step up, which I can get why that might hit in a place that doesn't feel great. It's probably more about the sense of felt pressure, right? So you might want to just get in a situation where you can have a conversation with your colleagues and allow you both to or all to put on the table exactly what it's feeling like for all of you, right? So, you can share how you've been flexing your hours to stay on top of things, but also, I recognize that things might be feeling stretched on your end. Can we talk a little bit about what's being impacted? So this way kind of shifts the perception, like what's real versus what's true, into a game of more sort of shared problem solving. So it's not me against you, it's us against the problem here. So the problem, and again, you might workshop some solutions here, finding out about how you shuffle your hours, how much clarity might be required in terms of when you're working or when you're available. The other part to this was about you needing a break. And I think that is some real wisdom that is showing up now, probably from a more sort of bodily place, a physical place, because you're already seeing these early burnout signals. So that's your data, that's information. And you choosing to take a break now can be something that is in fact preventative. So it's actually stopping you from going into the full burnout zone where you realize that you're actually not going to manage your job or not going to be able to do your caring responsibilities as much as is required. Okay, so you might want to frame it around taking a short break now so that you don't hit a wall later. And I think that, that fear of making it bigger is again, a totally natural and normal one. But this is, again, a really human experience. I will say we care for people, we work, we try to make things work. And the life that we live affects us. It impacts our nervous system. It impacts our capacity. So you recognizing that it is having an impact on you does not mean that you're blowing things up by recognizing that you need to step back for a moment just to recollect yourself. That's a really sort of wise and considered approach when you're dealing with a lot on your plate.
And is that truth, well, like what's true thing, is that also kind of alters your perception of how you take what people say? Is that right? Like, so I think there's a, part of that question was the comment around they've had to step up while I'm away could be taken a few ways, right? Like if you're feeling good, then actually you can be really appreciative of the support of like, oh, thank you so much. Or it's a dig at, oh, I've had to take on more because you're slacking off or you've been away. Is that kind of how you would process those things slightly differently, maybe?
Totally. I mean, it really does depend on the nature of the relationship that this person has with their co-workers and potentially able to sort of read between the lines. A lot of the stuff that gets lost in translation when we communicate, particularly in workplaces, is not having the full context and just reading into what we think is there. And again, when you're going through hard stuff, when you're already drained, your nervous system is heightened, it's more likely that you're going to sort of see digs and offense and criticism in places that potentially could have felt a little bit more neutral to you when you were feeling a little bit stronger and better in yourself. So again, it's just like that discomfort. I know the feeling of like, oh, I just don't like, oh, I don't want to get in there and find out exactly what's going on. It's like, that's really the best way to put everything out on the table so that you have the best opportunity of all coming together and getting an outcome that you need.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Maybe I'd love to add in on this one because I've worked through breast cancer at work and had a great amount of flexibility offered to me, which I always offer to others. But you only get that when you're transparent. And what you'll find is that everyone is going through stuff or has gone through stuff or will go through stuff. So a lot of us present this, this heart, we mask at work going, I'm great, everything's great, I'm doing all my things. And in the meanwhile, life is actually happening for all of us. And so, yeah, going back to that relationship with your team, I love when people are transparent to say it's okay when stuff is happening. If you do that, you're able to say like, I'm shifting my hours. So I am doing my work, but I'm doing it at this time. Or you might have a realistic conversation about how much you can be on. I know for me in my circumstance, I wanted to, we got to a place where I worked 4 days a week. I was in hospital 1 day a week, and they switched my work where I could work independently. So that I could choose when I did it, but also work that had softer deadlines. And that was really helpful. So I put less pressure on myself. I could still feel part of the team. I could still contribute, but it reset expectations with the rest of the team about how things are going. And again, the mental fatigue is really a lot. So always lead with good intent. Your colleagues are probably trying to cover for you because they love you and you do great work and they have a lot of empathy for what's going on. But I think having an open conversation it's really healthy.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's that thing, isn't it? It's like if you're feeling guilty, then you look for signs of why you're guilty. Yeah, really good. Great question. Thank you again for whoever it was that sent that.